Good evening, everybody. I would like to call to order this meeting of the Wyoming City Council. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Here.
Here. Here.
Here. Here.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is being live streamed on the city's YouTube channel, accessible from the city's website. If you would like to address the City Council, please come up to the microphone to speak. The audio will not pick up if you do not speak into a microphone for those watching from YouTube. There are 5 items on the consent agenda. They are the January 17th, 2023 City Council meeting minutes, the January 23rd, 2023 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes, a resolution authorizing a then and now certificate, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Fred A. Newman for the Compton Road Improvement Project, and a proclamation declaring the month of March 2023 as Women's History Month. Do I hear a motion with respect to the consent agenda?
Motion to accept the consent agenda.
Second.
Having been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda items, all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
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 Those opposed? The motion carries. So now we'll read the Women's History Month proclamation. A proclamation of the Mayor and Council of the City of Wyoming. Whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. And whereas throughout our history, women have strived and sacrificed for equity and equality in communities across the country. Black women fought to end slavery, advocated for civil rights, and helped to pass the Voting Rights Act. Generations of Native American women were stewards of the land and continue to lead the fight for climate justice. Suffragists helped pass the 19th Amendment to the Constitution so that no American could be denied a vote on the basis of sex and other movements, especially the peace movement, which created a more fair and just society for all. And whereas American women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social roles in every sphere of the life of the nation by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. And today, women strive to ensure all workers have secure better pay, benefits, and the safety they deserve. And whereas LGBTQIA+ women and girls are leading the fight for justice, opportunity, and equality, especially for the transgender community. Women and girls continue to lead groundbreaking civil rights movements for social justice and freedom so that everyone can realize the full promise of America. And whereas women have played a unique role throughout the history of the nation by providing the majority of volunteer labor for the nation and helped shape the city of Wyoming through ongoing volunteer efforts, and American women were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions in our nation. And whereas American women have served our country courageously in the military. And whereas, despite these contributions, the role of American women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in the literature, teaching, and study of American history. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Mayor and Council of the City of Wyoming, Ohio, on behalf of all citizens and residents of the city, do proclaim the month of March in the year 2023 as Women's History Month, given under my hand this 21st day of February in the year 2023. So are there any next is special reports. Are there any questions or comments on the special reports? So then we'll now hear a report from the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. So Mulch Madness 2023. Get ready. Here it comes. It begins on Monday, March 6th at 8 a.m. Residents may place an order for a half a load or a whole load of mulch with free delivery by the Public Works Department. All the information can be found on our city's website, wyomingohio.gov, on how to order the mulch, and we would prefer that you make those orders online if possible. Employment opportunities. The city is currently accepting applications for several positions. We have seasonal public works maintenance workers positions open. We have seasonal summer camp counselor positions and volunteer firefighters. Again, the volunteer firefighters, if you can sign up now, we have a volunteer firefighter class starting just next week. And information can be found on all of these positions on the city's website under the Human Resources Department. Volunteer opportunities. We are also seeking volunteers to serve on Civil Service Commission, Environmental Stewardship Commission, Promote Wyoming Commission, and as a board member for the Wyoming Community Foundation. Additional information and the applications to apply can be found on the Volunteer Opportunities page on the city's website. And finally, yes, it's election year. So the November 2023 election, the November 7th, 2023 general election represents a Wyoming City Council election year. Petitions and instructions for candidates for City Council are available at the County Board of Elections, 4700 Smith Road, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. Questions must be directed to the staff of the Board of Elections at 513-632-7000 to receive necessary guidance. The deadline for filing is 4 p.m. on August 9th. That's all I have. Thank you.
Are there any council committee reports not otherwise on the agenda? And are there any special committee reports not otherwise on the agenda? Okay, so we've reached that point in our meeting where a citizen may express an opinion, make a statement, address a concern, or ask a question on any subject that is not otherwise on the agenda. Comments will be recorded into the minutes and passed along to be addressed by the appropriate staff or City Council committee as needed. This portion of the meeting is not for City Council to provide responses to the citizen comment, but to hear what the citizen has to say. If you wish a response from the city to your concern or request for information, please be sure to leave your contact information with the clerk before leaving the meeting. And as a reminder, please state your name and address before making your comments to City Council. Is there anyone present that would like to bring an item not otherwise on the agenda before City Council? Okay, I see none. So we will now move to the next item of business. So the next item of business is a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an aggregation program agreement with a supplier to be recommended by Energy Alliance Incorporated to supply electric for the Wyoming aggregation program. So then, would you like to come up and address council?
Good evening.
Evening.
My name's Kathy Dieters, and I represent Energy Alliances, and I'm here on behalf of Energy Alliances to answer any questions you may have regarding this resolution. We currently have an aggregation program in place for natural gas and electric. The electric aggregation will expire in July of this year, 2023. And the reason we ask for this is currently we're experiencing a downside in the market, and we want to be able to capture the best and lowest rate possible for the residents. Duke Energy, they are currently, today, as a matter of fact, going to be determining what their default rates are for customers that purchase electric through the utility. And the first part of their auction process was done in September, and they procured about 20% at 11.5 cents per kilowatt hour. They have to procure the last 80% today. And it's expected that the rate hike will be in upwards over 10 cents per kilowatt hour. That's going to open the opportunity for suppliers to bid on the electric for the city of Wyoming at a lower rate. We've currently started the process of bidding, and we've gotten some really good numbers back, and we're hopeful that once the city decides on the rate and locks it in, that we'll be able to have all the paperwork in place and to be able to react to the low rate that we actually procure. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer regarding this.
So Kathy, what's the current rate that the city's paying that are in the alliance?
It's currently 4.89 cents. It was at the time when the market was probably at the lowest that's been since deregulation has taken effect in the state of Ohio in over 30 years. So it's market driven, and due to some of the situations between COVID and other environmental issues, the market has increased. We've seen at least a 40% increase in rates over the last year, but currently we the market has come down, which is a good buying signal and an opportunity to try to get the residents the best rate possible.
If the market is currently coming down and you're starting to see good bids, what sort of term are these companies offering? So I see we're looking at not to exceed 24 months. What sort of balance are you hoping for? You know, you don't want to lock in for too long, but I'm sure they don't want to offer you short term, knowing that you'll renegotiate.
Well, in the past, the out years were trading lower. And one of the things that happened in the PJM, which is the grid operator that operates the entire grid in the 7 states in the Midwest, they determine what the cost of capacity is, which is part of the price that's determined. And they used to do 3-year auctions, and now they're only doing 1-year auctions. So suppliers, when they're bidding on and offering prices, that 3rd year or even that 4th year, if you decide to do a 4th year, they have to basically build in a lot of risk. And so we're just recommending, due to the fact that, you know, this is a little bit of a higher market, that 24 months, we know what the capacity rates are through the 2025. So that's what we recommend.
But you would not, there are no like 1 year.
Oh yeah, you can choose a 1 year. Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so can you kind of just for the group walk through like how you would go through deciding what the better offer would be?
Well, we will give you the prices for the terms that they are quoting on, which would be a 12, 24, 36, 48-month term. So basically from there, you would decide what is the best option for the residents based on, you know, our recommendation, you know, your risk appetite, whether or not you feel like the market could potentially come down over the course of the next year. There's a lot of variables, but we've entered into a situation in the last 2 years where the market has been very volatile. Okay, and so to try and determine what is going to happen in the future is obviously hard to do. But the only thing we can do at this time is to basically just go with what we know and recommend based on, you know, the pricing and what the basic suppliers are going to offer for the city. Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kathy. Okay, do I hear a motion with respect to the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so having been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution, all those in favor, please signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Those opposed? The motion carries. So the next item is, this is the first reading of the ordinance amending the personnel ordinance and declaring an emergency. It is recommended that the rules be suspended and the ordinance be considered for adoption tonight. Do I hear a motion to suspend the rules?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? Having been moved and seconded to suspend the rules, it takes an affirmative vote of 5 for passage. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Yes.
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 Yes, the motion carries. So we'll now need a motion to adopt the ordinance tonight. Do I hear a motion with respect to the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, having been moved and seconded to adopt the ordinance, it takes an affirmative vote of 5 for passage. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Yes.
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 Yes, the motion carries. Does anyone have any new business not otherwise on the agenda? Okay, then we've reached the miscellaneous point of the day, and I'll actually start with Jody tonight.
Always start with me. Thank you. I have just 2 comments. The first is I just want to applaud our school system and the WSMA. They have a gaggle of high school students down in Disney World for a trip that I would be challenging to take, and our kids are living their best lives, and so I'm just appreciative for a community that supports that. And so I feel really good about the outside extracurriculars that school supports. So that's awesome. And the other thing I wanted to just touch upon is the sense of community that has been fostered over the past few weeks here in Wyoming in supporting our city staff and public safety around some really challenging issues. It has been admirable, the level-headedness, the conscientiousness, the dedication that our city staff has shown in a very difficult situation. And so I'm just deeply appreciative for those minds and hearts that we have working for our community.
Great, thanks. Grant?
I want to commend Rusty and Emily in the city, because every time I've gotten a question from our community in the last month or so, Emily, our marketing, no. I saw you look and I thought, I feel really bad all of a sudden.
I agree with you.
Excuse me. The point is that I have been getting, we all get questions around the community, right? And every time I get one, the first thing I've done is gone to Instagram and said, I wonder if we've answered this question already. And there's been questions about water and other things. And I think it was great you guys got ahead of all of that, or at least on my street. And so good job on trying to get information out to people in other avenues than just posting it on our website. So thank you.
I've got nothing to add tonight.
Super. Chris?
Yeah, I know that we live in a wonderful place, and over the last month, we proved why we live in a wonderful place. You two in the back especially being representatives of that, and then the leadership that we have with Rusty and everybody else involved. Whether you have kids, whether you're elderly, whether or not you're an empty nester, it's moments like that over the last month that we don't want to have to go through. But when we do, you're thankful that when you're sleeping, we're cared for the way we are. So very appreciative of that. And every once in a while, we need a good reminder of that. So thank you all very much.
April?
I echo the same sentiments, and Just thank you for everyone else's thoughtfulness before mine. And I just wanted to add about getting people actively engaged by participating on some of our committees. We have openings, and so we need that support from our community to be involved and get tapped to help out in those committees.
My fear I do need to echo, but I think it's very important that there are times when communication is something you can take for granted. And then there are times when people have concerns about water and they can just look it up online, look at Instagram or Facebook, and they have the answer. Or it's a time when it's one of the most, I think, emotional, concerning moments in our city's history that I've lived through. And really, our staff and our police department did a phenomenal job getting as much information as they could out to the public and through the right channels as they could in the time that they could. And I think our community showed excellent patience. So all around, I think a very difficult moment was handled as well as it could be. And I think we've shown a lot of the fiber of the staff, and just thank you. I know this was a very difficult time, so thank you for that. On a different note about the caliber of our staff, I neglected to announce last time, I know it was in the Environmental Stewardship Commission minutes, but Rob Nichols successfully applied for a grant through Hamilton County Resource and secured $75,000 for our compost, our leaf compost boxes. So that mulch madness that we love shall continue in perpetuity, thanks to his work. So we have that, and you'll see this in next month's minutes, but the compost program that Lauren Albarella and Chris Pagan brought to the Committee of the Whole, that grant was also awarded. So we will hopefully be able to see the rollout of that by Upcycle Day. So compost, compost, compost. That's all I have.
Well, I'll just say again, it has been an incredibly stressful month for the city, and also want to reinforce how much we appreciate our Wyoming police officers, their whole team. And actually, I was going to say this, Emily and Rusty, but, you know, we hope that tragic things like that don't happen again forever. But the fact that we are in such competent hands makes an enormous difference. And it is something, I think, Chris, you said it well, you sleep well at night when you know you have competent, professional people caring for your city. So just want to say thank you. Okay, so we have executive session this evening. Under section 121.03B1 of the codified ordinances of the City of Wyoming, council may adjourn to executive session to consider an appointment to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Do I hear a motion to adjourn to executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and seconded to adjourn to executive session, will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes.
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 Yes. Council is adjourned to executive session. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Can you do me a favor?
Night.
Can you write down?
Okay, what time is it?
Yes.
7:26.
Yeah, that's